There's a Stoic saying, memento mori, and it means love your fate. Welcome to my morning show. Hope you got your coffee ready, your breakfast ready. I'm just going to give you some hope to get you through your day today. When you don't love and honor yourself, you are disrespecting God. He intricately created you for a reason. You have a purpose. You're out here to impact people, to impact the world. No matter how small that is or how big that is, there's a reason why you're here. And this world distracts people. And just because you might not know what that is, or you might be confused, or you might not be where you want to be right now, that doesn't mean that you're worthless. And that doesn't mean that you're a screw up and that it's necessarily your fault. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. You have worth no matter what you've done, no matter what you've done wrong to yourself and others. You have worth. There is a plan for you. There is happiness there for you. There is contentment and satisfaction and abundance out there for you. It might be a journey to get you there. It might be many tests, a lot of suffering, but there is a plan for you, and you are entitled to those things. You are entitled to those things. There are different seasons in life. There's a season to be happy, there's a season to be sad, there's a season to be partnered, there's a season to be alone, there's a season of sickness, there's a season of health. These are all things that happen to everyone. Even the richest people, even the people who you think have a perfect life. As a coach and as someone who's lived all around the world and lived with many different people in many different cultures, you don't know what's going on inside those people's homes. You might always think the grass is greener on the other side. You don't know what suffering is happening in people's homes and behind the scenes, and what terrible things are going on in what looks like a Facebook perfect life or an Instagram perfect life. You have no idea. And there's different seasons in all of our lives. We can't just accept what happens to us. That's the first step, is accepting what's happened to us, the results of our manifestations, the results of our mistakes, the results of our thought patterns. We have to accept what happens to us and whatever season in life we're in. And you can't just accept it, but you have to embrace whatever season of life you're in to move forward. So accept whatever season of life you're in, whether that's being single, being partnered, being sick, whatever situation you're in right now, you have to not only accept but embrace it in order to receive the strength you need to take the next step forward. This is hard, but gratitude and joy at all times. We all have a reason for gratitude, and we all have a reason for joy. Are your loved ones still alive and healthy? Is your pet still alive and healthy? Do you have food in your fridge? Do you have heat in your home? Do you have hands and legs that are still working? Do you have a cancer-free body? Do you have an arthritis-free body? There's always something that you have to be thankful for. There's always something that you can say to the universe, say to God, isn't it wonderful that my legs are working? Isn't it wonderful that I have great food in my fridge? Isn't it wonderful that I have a partner that loves me, and even though that they're not perfect, that they love me and they try their best to meet my needs? There's so many things you can be thanking God right now for that other people wish that they were in your situation. And you know that. You know that there's people in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East that are without food right now and they have to fight for their lives. Whatever side you're on, I'm not going to get into politics. But I'm saying there's people in war zones right now that are suffering. Look at your pet. Look at your pet. There's people in those countries had the pets that they love and that they have to leave behind to die. There's people in worse situations than you. I know it's hard to hear. It is hard to hear right now that there's people suffering way more than you. So it's your job to have gratitude and joy at all times. And pull yourself out of a sense of lack and a sense of not being happy with what you have, a sense of lack, a sense of dissatisfaction with what God has given you. That will lead to more dissatisfaction. So you get more of what you put out. So gratitude and joy of what you're getting. So thank God for your life, your loved ones, your home, your health, your possessions, your job, your pets. A lot of people have lost theirs recently. A lot of people have lost theirs recently. My biggest problem, struggling with all my traumas, I'm not going to go through them, is insecurity was lack to that. And that's completely tied to a lack of faith. A lack of faith in yourself because you don't love yourself and believe in yourself. And honestly, that lack of purpose, the lack of self-love, the lack of all that, and you're going to hate to hear this, that is connect because you don't feel a connection to the source, a connection to the universe, a connection to God. Unless you believe that you are a divine creation, that you have God within you, that you have the power within you to get what you want, and that you're entitled to your desires and dreams and what God puts in there. Unless you feel connected to God and connected to the source of all that comes to you, you will continuously be tested over and over again. Your faith will be tested. And you won't get exactly what you want and what you deserve and what you are really entitled to. Those who seek shall find. The door that you knock shall be opened. It's about persistence and it's about faith. And insecurity is because you don't have faith in yourself, you don't love yourself, and you don't think you're enough. So, you thinking you're enough is thinking that however God has created you, whatever gifts you have been given, whatever you are, with all your imperfections and blemishes, unless you fully accept and love yourself, you're not accepting and loving what God has given you, and you'll be disconnected from Him and disconnected from abundance and disconnected from manifesting what you want. So accept and love yourself just the way you are right now. That doesn't mean there's no room for improvement. That doesn't mean that we're constantly not trying to be better and not trying to manage what God has given us well. That doesn't mean that you're not trying, but you have to accept where you're at and accept who you are and what you look like and what you are. You have to fully accept that and honor that and love that, no matter what mistakes you've made. Insecure people are terribly hard to live with and get close to and develop intimacy and true love with, whether it's in a romantic relationship or otherwise. And I know that because I struggle with insecurity and I I know what it's like to be that person and suck the energy out of everyone. And you might not think you are if you're insecure, but you are. And you have to be okay with yourself, loving yourself. And if God has put you in a season of being alone right now, that's probably because God wants you to get good with being by yourself and loving yourself and taking yourself out for dates and learning what you're really about and what your purpose is and what you're here to touch others. Like, we're all here to touch others and serve others in some sort of way. That's how we make our living. That's how we interact with the world. That's how we have our social life. We're all here to touch others. So what are you doing? Wishing for things is different than having a vision, a clear vision, a true vision that fits into your true values and getting to work. So, sitting there and wishing you were fit, wishing you were in a great relationship, wishing you had the abundance that you want, that's great. You can wish, and it all starts with the wish, it all starts with the desire. But having a clear plan and writing it down and getting to work and then letting go and letting the results fall where they may and learning from your failures and mistakes. But being the person in the arena, the man or woman in the arena, going and making those failures and keeping on having the faith is what you have to do, not just keep wishing. Wishing and thinking everything is fate and everything is luck. And the people who have the things have them because that was their luck. No, they had to go through some shit to get them. So you have to remember that. There's no such thing as self-motivation and being motivated and jumping out of bed at 4 in the morning without the alarm going off. There's none of that without a why. You have to have their why. The why for why you're doing things. And anything that requires sacrifice has to have a spiritual reason. I know it's hard to hear, but and that doesn't mean organized religion. That just means a spiritual reason. The reason why mothers sacrifice so much for their children and fathers is for a spiritual reason. The reason why people continue chasing their purpose, whatever it is, why Henry Ford and Abraham Lincoln and all those people kept on chasing their dream after failure, after failure, after failure, after failure, is not because they wanted the recognition or they wanted to be famous or they wanted to be people to be reading about them after they were dead. That's not the reason why those people did those things. That's not the reason why Jesus did what he did. It is because they knew what their purpose was and they were going to carry it out regardless of what the consequences are. And that's when you have the real power, where you have gratitude, joy, and persistence, and you know what your purpose is, and you're just going for it regardless of what the consequences are, regardless of what the fruit of what you're going to get. And that's the biggest power, is when you do what you have to do, regardless of what the consequences are. And regardless of whether you're going to fail or not. That's real power. Because you're not tied to any outcome and your reaction's not based on that, but it's just based on your truth. All your actions have to be based within your truth, and only you know that. My truth is not your truth. You have to search. You have to search within yourself what your truth is. When the question is in your head is constantly something self-centered and or around your friends. So it's constantly me, I, me, I. What about me? What about me? What about me? That is ego edging God out, and your purpose, whatever's going to bring you abundance, whatever's going to bring you fulfillment and satisfaction in life, that's not going to be chasing resources. That's going to be your purpose, and that's going to be something divine that's deep within you. And only you have that answer. And it's not going to be around yourself and fulfilling your fleshly needs and your ego needs. It's going to be around serving others. It's going to be around a product, a service, knowledge, wisdom, something you have to give to others. That's what the purpose is. And God has put one within you. And you may not have found it yet. You can't beat yourself up over that. But I promise you, God has put a deep purpose within you to go and serve. And only you know what that is. I want to close out that God, the universe, the source, does not want you to live in lack or loneliness, but He will keep testing your faith over and over again until you are ready to be a good steward of His abundance. So let me repeat that. God did not want you to live in lack and loneliness, but He will keep testing your faith and testing your resolve over and over again until you are ready to be a good steward of His abundance, and He knows you are obedient to His laws. And the law of attraction is a law of God. It's a law of the universe. And it's all to do with faith, and the Bible is filled with it. It is faith and submission to your fate, submission to your current circumstances, but never, you submit to it in the moment, but you never settle. You keep on doing what you know you're supposed to do for your future and take those baby steps towards your goals that add up. And you keep on taking those baby steps until you climb the mountain. And there are breakthroughs and boosts. God can just put His hand on your butt and push you up the mountain. And we don't know when those are coming, but that's always tied to complete faith, complete joy, and complete gratitude. So it's your choice how long it takes. It's your choice how long it takes for you to get that boost. And just let go and let it happen and keep the faith. God loves you. I care about you. The universe wants you to be happy. And I want you to have a joyful day. I want you to put out what you want to receive. So everyone you run into, give them a smile. Give them a flirt. Give them a great attitude, depending on what's appropriate. Give everyone your best, and you're going to get the best from everyone. And whatever task you have, whether it's big or small, and no matter how important it is important. Give it your best. Martin Luther King said, even if you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be. So whatever you're going to go and do out there, do it well, do it with passion, go and serve today. And I'll be back soon with more for you. Like, subscribe, and share. Help my message get out there, and I'll be talking to you soon. God bless you.